Hello and welcome, my name is Meepolis, they, he, she, and today's pick is the first 3 volumes of the Bailey School Kids, including Vampires Don't Wear Polka Dots, Frankenstein Doesn't Plant Petunias, and Ghosts Don't Eat Chips. This series was originally written by Marcia Thornton Jones and Dadey, with these recent graphic novel editions being put together by Pearl Lowe, Volumes 1 and 2, and Angeli Rafer, Volume 3, and published by Scholastic Graphics Line in 2021, 22, and 23, respectively. Scholastic recommends these books for kids ages 7 to 10. Obviously, I'm no longer part of the target audience, but perusing my library selection of Graphix titles, I was intrigued enough to pick them up because I did read a bunch of these when I was part of the target demographic. Keywords that came to mind: classic monsters, where are the parents, and hijinks. The summary for Volume 1 is, quote, "All is not what it seems at Bailey Elementary." In the first graphic novel adaptation of this classic chapter book series, the 3rd graders at Bailey Elementary are so hard to handle that all of their teachers have quit. But their new teacher, Mrs. Jeepers, is different, to say the least. She's just moved from the Transylvanian Alps into a spooky old house in Bailey City. She wears a mysterious brooch that glows as green as her eyes. Could Mrs. Jeepers be a vampire? End quote. Looking back at the original material, we have the co-creators, who are apparently both out of Kentucky. Marcia Thornton Jones has apparently written 130 books for kids and now coordinates the Carnegie Center Author Academy. Dadey, on the other hand, had a background as a first grade teacher and school librarian and has gone on to co-author 180 books for kids and continues writing to this day. Looking at the individuals tasked with adapting the series, I found a pretty cute little video from Pearl Lowe over on Scholastic's YouTube, so I'll link that. Otherwise, according to the back of the book, Lowe is Afro-Asian and lives in Vancouver, Canada. They are also part of the team that created the Oscar award-winning short animated film Hair Love. Angeli Rafer, adapter of Volume 3, is a Filipino-American illustrator/artist in New Jersey. She is self-taught. Looking at the writing and art, etc., I thought these were pretty solid and entertaining reads, a great way to introduce kids to classic, quote, monsters. Honestly, I did not particularly remember the details of this series, just the really eye-catching titles and covers, but looking at reviews over on Goodreads, it does seem like the level of confidence Scholastic had in letting things change a bit seemed to grow as the series progressed, which should feel like a strength, as I definitely felt like the first volume was the weakest. I might be overthinking this a bit, but the idea that my teacher could mind control her students into passivity felt a bit much. There's also one point where the class clown goes into another room alone with the teacher and comes back with a mind wipe, which just felt pretty actually ominous given the modern awareness of child abuse. In contrast, I thought the Frankenstein volume was very good, but I certainly have a soft spot for anything even mildly pro-Frankenstein's creation. One thing that I didn't remember, and honestly didn't expect because this was a kid's series, is that the books would actually build on each other. But they did, at least in these initial volumes. The artwork was good, but pretty straightforward. I really appreciated the diversity in the character designs, which felt like an important update, particularly in the Ghost book, where one of the characters also uses some words of Tagalog with explanation for readers, which, given Angeli's own background, felt like a few good steps beyond just token representation. Looking at the other identities and intersections I try to highlight in each of my reviews, gender felt like a pretty decent mix of at least the binaries, with a diversity of gender expressions. I would be interested to see if this expands even further as the series goes on. Sexuality was almost totally avoided in a positive way, with no one's parents being depicted in this child-focused adventure. In Volume 3, there is a widow aunt and her ghost of a husband, so it appears to be a whiff of run-of-the-mill heterosexuality without anything to balance it out. But who knows? They could be bi or genderqueer, so perhaps I shouldn't jump to assumptions. Class, disability, and place don't really play much of a role in these particular volumes. Wrapping things up, I think I'll be rating the first volume 2 stars and volumes 2 and 3 3 stars. Apparently the next volume is going to be Dragons Don't Cook Pizza. Bye y'all, keep reading and stand with striking workers. And Literally Graphic is created on land that should be given back to the traditional landholders. which in this case is, to my knowledge, the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, an Anishinaabe people, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and the Huron-Wendat Nation.